Hello, my name is David Webb, and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster, and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game, and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. It's my opponent to go first. He's changed. I don't have a bingo. So I'm looking to sort this rack out, and I can do that with logo. The rack leaves pretty good given the starting position. 10 points. I have evictee. That plays in row I. And that's the only place it plays. I've also got cleavite, I think. Now evictee didn't play in row I because LE wasn't good. And I think it does play, or would have played, in column 11 because of logoi, but that's just been blocked by J. So I think both cleavite and evictee have been blocked. I need to be sure of that. It would be an expensive error if it was playable. Logo takes nothing in front of it. Well, I think it is blocked. So, how can I sort this rack out? I'd like to play off the V and a couple of E's. Well, I could play Vi in row I. I can't see anywhere to play two E's. Well, I could play evit across here. This is opening the board up, but it's a good point score and it's a good rack leave. But I think this is even better because this doesn't provide an easy access to the triple word square at H1. And it makes it hard for my opponent to score unless he puts the E in front of the V. And two E's isn't a terrible rack leave. Now, I don't have a 7-letter bingo with this rack. Let's see if my opponent provides any floaters. I do have E's for going in front of Vit. Well, my opponent's provided a floating N. Do I have a bingo through that N? Well, it looks like I may do. Certainly a high probability bingo if it exists. Re-entice, not good. I can't see anything through the E of Nardine, and there's no other floaters to consider. I don't have a 7-letter play. If I did, it would play in column 5, making evit. Nardine does not take anything after it. Well, I can't see anything through the N. So what I can do is play C double E across here. My opponent may not know of the E front hook for Vite. So column 5 is a bingo lane. And this rack leave goes well with the N of Nardine. Two I's and a W, not a great combination. I don't have anything through the N. Well, I don't have a bingo through it. I have tinware. but that only uses one of the I's. So I'll be looking to score well with the W and sort out the duplicate I and the vowel imbalance. So a play of W-A-I would do that, or Iwi-I-W-I. IWI can play above Nardine, but it stops one square short of column 15, and I don't have an S or a blank, so that's not a great play. I do have right in column 5 if nothing better comes along. 24 points, but it wrecks the rack. I could play Iwi just down from the I of Nardine, 12 points, keeping A-E-I-R-T, which goes quite well with the N of Nardine. I don't think there are any 8s with this set that I can see, certainly not with the floaters that are available. My opponent's taking a while with his move. Only 18 points, but he's blocked my Iwi spot. So, what to do? I'm looking to see if I can play in column 12, placing my, through the NU. Can't see a way of doing that. NUR is good. So I could play in row L, a 5-letter word ending ER. Well, water works, but it leaves 2 I's, so that's no good. Toria and waiter both begin underneath line, so they don't work. I could play white. Leaving air. Right would score 2 more, but I think the R is helpful when you're otherwise only keeping 2 vowels, and 27 is quite a good score. But IDI is not good, so let me put that back. So what do I have in that spot? So I'm looking to place my E here. And R or T in the next spot. So I can play Twire. And this opens up row M as a bingo lane. Not a great rack leave, but 28 points. Great. I have Orgites, which plays in column 11, making J's. That is a really good pickup, given that I started with AI and I've picked up a G and a U. The end product ends up as being a bingo rack from an uninspiring start. Now, if column 11 is taken, do I have somewhere else for Orgites? Nardine isn't good. Orgites doesn't hook the E onto Veet. So do I have a bingo ending with E? I have unitarge, so that's going to play in column 5 and also row M. But I'm drawn to the J's spot. I think this is going to score the most. There is some danger associated with this. I'm opening up row A. I'm also placing a U next to a triple letter square. And the Q hasn't been played yet. But either of those opportunities may be available to me rather than my opponent. So Orgites for 77. Is there anywhere better for that? So if I played unitarge in column 5, 72 points, only 5 points fewer. Maybe that's something worth thinking about. I think it is. I don't think 5 points is a huge sacrifice. And I think my opponent would have scored well in row A, even if he hadn't bingoed. And this places no vowels next to premium squares. Unitarge 72. I draw the Z, which is good. I've got the IZE and IZED ending. Can't see any 7 or 8 letter bingos available on this board. So where can I score well with my Z? I can't place it at A4 because I've got nothing to go in front of the U of unitarge. I can't see a 5 letter play ending in the G of unitarge. I'm looking around to see if there are any premium squares available. Nice bingo by my opponent. So, has he opened up anywhere? Anywhere good? I've got dire eyes in column 2, but that's not a bingo. My opponent now's got a 57-point lead. So I'm back with my Z. I'm looking in column 8 to see if I've got anything onto the L of reliable or down from the T of twire. Can't see anything down from the T. What about onto the L? Well, not using the Z. I don't have to use the Z. Ah, yes, I can see a good play. It's not a bingo, but it's going to be close to the 50-point mark. I've got Deutzia. And that doubles the Z, which then gets doubled again. 56 points, that's pretty good. And that's an excellent pickup. I must be close to a bingo. If I'm not, I may have difficulty scoring because I haven't got any high-scoring tiles. Can't see a 7. And there's not many floaters to deal with. The R of reliable duplicates a tile on my rack. Through a T, I would have 4 bingos, suited, outrides, IO duets, and something else. Etourdees, possibly. Maybe my opponent will provide a floater. I've got the EN pair in column 13 for bingos ending EN. Can't see anything there. It's not a toadies, it's outrides, outsider, suited, and IO duets. Now maybe my opponent will take one of the triple word squares in column 8 and provide some further floaters. I've got 10 minutes left, my opponent's got 13, and there are 34 tiles in the bag, including the Q and the X. Row M is a good bingo lane for bingos ending in E, and row N is available for bingos ending in S. As is column 11, so this is a good board for 7-letter bingos, but not many floaters for 8s. Through an S I would have desirous. Both blanks have been played. Okay, I have an M available. Erodiums and ceridium, neither works. So, how can I clean this rack up? Well, certainly playing off the U, and the O with it would leave D-E-I-R-S, so that's pretty good. And the second best leave would be achieved by playing off the D with the O and the U. So, where can I do that? Well, I could play Dewey in row Duo in row E underneath Wham. 18 points. Keeping Rise, that's quite good. Anywhere better for OU or DOU? Well, what about this? Zobu 15. Is that better than playing off the D? The D, although it helps the vowel consonant balance, and although it's got synergy with the remaining tiles, has value in 7-letter bingos ending ED. And I don't think there's anywhere for such bingos on this board. So maybe I should play Duo. How many Ds are left? None, so there's no danger of duplicating the E. I think I'm going to stick with this. 5 good tiles are better than 4. I draw an X. Through an E, I would have indexes. Through 2 E's, I would have re-indexes. That would have been another. Playing Duo would have stopped my opponent taking the spot he's just used. Now, how to sort this out? How can I score well with the X? This rack leave is still pretty bingo-y, or this rack is still pretty bingo-y, but the X is not a bingo-y tile, so it's certainly a priority to get rid of that. Only 2 E's left, which is a shame, because I can play off the X in row C, playing Dex, Day, and Emo. 34 points. Is there something better? Can't see anything in column 8 through either of the triple word squares, and I'm a little short on time, so I'm inclined to play this. Just pausing in case there's anywhere good for index. Ah, well, let me just take this back. What about Xing across here? 42 points, which is a good score. There's 13 vowels left out of 26. Well, out of 33, so slight risk that I'll have a lot of consonants, but there are vowels in Xing to play through. Well, I'm pretty fortunate, I think, to draw vowels. I have Oreides in row N making ideas. Osiad is its anagram, that doesn't play. My opponent's play of Wham has taken out row B as a bingo lane, apart from bingos beginning with W, and there are no W's or blanks left, so that's a dead lane. Wham does take an O after it. Great, my Oreides spot remains available in row N. Do I have anything in column 1 through ER? Not that I can see. So I don't think there's any reason not to play this. I think this is the only available bingo. It is opening up a hot spot in row O. But that's okay. 68 points for Oreides. Wow, I draw a lot of vowels again. Looking at the remaining tiles, there are 12 in the bag, 7 on my opponent's rack, so 19 tiles. Amongst those 19 tiles are 4 vowels and a lot of heavy tiles. So my vowel glut could be good for me. My opponent may be able to score well in row O using only 1 vowel. But looking at the scores, I have a 52-point lead, so I think this is going to be a close end game. 44 points, that's exactly what my opponent's done. Burnt just 1 vowel, scored well. And now there are 3 vowels left, and there's the Q and no U. So I can play Anna across here. Ordinarily I would play Anoa to burn off an extra vowel, but given the shortage of vowels, I think I'm better off keeping that O. 20 points is a good score. It'll take me to 352, a 30-point lead. And I've got a pretty robust rack leave. Now, what happens if I draw the Q? Well, I can play it above the I of Deutzia, and I can also play it above the I of Spiv, so I'm not going to be stuck with it. Great, I draw 1 of the remaining vowels, so there is now only 1 vowel left, the O. And the Q is out there in a lot of really heavy tiles, and there are not a lot of easy scoring spots through vowels. So what do I have? Well, apart from having the vowels, which are quite valuable, I've got 2 scoring tiles in the C and the P, and I'm likely to pick up more. Now, 3 tiles left. So if I play off 2 of them, for example here, that leaves 1 in the bag. I'm not providing any vowel floaters, which is good. 15 points is good. Given the current scoring differential, I'm 17 points ahead. This is going to put me 32 points ahead. Right, now, do I have a bingo through the P of Poi? What about aphonics? That is tempting. It's either aphonics or aphotics, which is good. I think one of them is good and one of them isn't. If aphonics isn't good, is there another bingo? I didn't draw the O, so my opponent does have an O to play with. Or it's in the bag. But if it's in the bag, he's got no vowels at all. So, aphonics, is that good? I'm really tempted to play it. I think it's more likely to be good than aphotics. And I think I may have guessed previously that aphotics is good in confusion with aphonics. Can't see any anagrams of aphonics. Now, what other floaters are available? There's the E and R in column 1. Can't see anything through that. Foam for 25. My opponent's got a dreadful rack and he's 7 points behind. I think I'm going to try aphonics. If it comes off, I think I may still win. But it'll be tight. Helios66. I'm waiting for the challenge. Hasn't come yet. Great. I'm not sure if my opponent did challenge that. Don't think he did, but in any event, that is the end of the game. I don't quite understand my opponent's comment. ELL found. Anyway, the final score, 360 to my opponent, 459 to me, a winning margin of 99 points, which makes the game look a lot more comfortable than it was. I think it was the vowel situation at the end that really scuppered my opponent's prospects of winning. Okay, let's see what I missed. Or see what we missed. No, let's see what I missed. Right, this was my opponent's rack. He changed. He changed. Well, he could have played J for quite a lot of points and quite an okay rack leave, but in any event, he did change. I played Logo, and I could have played Colog for 22. Probably not much between those. My opponent played J this time and blocked my bingos. And the top two were the choice I was thinking about, the difference between Evit and Veet. I think Veet is better. Nice rack for my opponent and a good spot with Nardine, although Dinners was available in column 5 as a double-double. This was my rack, no bingos here. All of the possibilities there, apart from the last. Destroy the rack, which is a shame because it's a bingo-y rack. So I like my play of CEE, although it's 10 points less than Serite. The rack leave compensates for all of that and more, I think. JC was also a nice possibility. My opponent plays done, and I had a tricky rack here. I struggled to find a good play. Water scores the most, but the rack leave of 2 eyes is horrible. And in the end, I played Twire for 28, which I think is fine. That looks a nice rack for my opponent. He plays Alb for 19, and I was fortunate in my pickup. I considered playing Orgites, but switched to Unicharge, 5 fewer points, but a lot less dangerous. However, my opponent did find a bingo. He had Reliable, and in any event had relabel and ideal in row N. This is where I played Deutsche, and that looks best. My opponent's vowel shortage seems to have started already. He played Wham. Yep, and this is my rack. Well, it's a very bingo-y set of tiles, but did I have a bingo? No, I didn't. And duo at B13. Duo and whammo, that's interesting. 21 points. Keeping rise. This is what I was agonizing between, keeping rised and keeping rise plus a D. I think I made the wrong move because Zobu didn't take any hotspots away from my opponent, and certainly the A over a double word square is a hotspot. And as you can see, my opponent was struggling for vowels at this point. And he played Yo for 24. I played Xing for 42. That looks fine, but was slightly vulnerable given the vowel shortage. My opponent played Rut, and I had a bingo, Oreides. Yeah, my opponent was in trouble from quite a long way out. He played Spivs at this point. And Anoa is the player I didn't want to play because of the vowel shortage. So I think Anna is fine. Horrendous rack for my opponent. He dumps the Q for only 11 points, but his rack leave is awful. I played Poi at A8, and although it doesn't feature there, I think it's a good move. My opponent has, well, a grim rack, and he does well to score 25. And finally, Aphonics was good, and that was a nice way to end the game, and I caught my opponent with a lot of tiles on his rack, which contributed to the winning margin of 99 points. So, an interesting game. I think this game illustrated to a large extent the importance of tile tracking, and one of the elements of tile tracking is the vowel consonant balance. It was quite pronounced in this game and ended up having a significant impact on the result of the game. And that's largely because, although there was a shortage of vowels, I ended up with most of them. But when you can see a vowel shortage coming, it's important to value the vowels that you have and be aware of the value of vowels on the board. And I think this game illustrated both of those points. So I hope you enjoyed watching that game and got something out of it. My name is David Webb, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.